The question is that the motion be agreed to. I call the member for Holt.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Madam Deputy Speaker, I'd like to thank the member for Hughes for this particular motion, which allows us on both sides of the political divide to talk about an issue that causes great concern to members of our community, the Coptic Christian community. I'm very blessed, I guess you'd have to say, in having a very large and vibrant Coptic community in my constituency. As you drive along Princes Highway towards the Fountain Gate Shopping Centre, you can see very, very clearly from Princes Highway this beautiful church, St Mina and St Marina, clearly from the highway. And it's growing, as the Coptic community is growing, and it's evolving. And one of the great things about being a local member of Parliament is being able to go to an Easter service or a Christmas service and share that with your friends within the Coptic community, particularly my good friend, Father Abinu, from this particular parish. In doing so, what you do is you have a window into an ancient faith practiced for thousands of years. And for those people to share that experience with you is a humbling experience. It's an experience that opens a window into the Coptic community's feelings, their spirit, their soul, their history, all very, very rich. And reflecting on that, and speaking to Father Avenue and to His Grace Bishop Suriel, it pains me deeply to see the distress within the Coptic community about atrocities being perpetrated on them. As I said, you can drive along Princes Highway and you can see this place of worship and you can practice your faith there without oppression, without persecution, without hate, without fear. There is nothing more lovely than walking out after those services and sharing discussions with these great people, watching how successful their community have been. In, I'd say, my parish, I have close to 2,000 Copts, made up of about 600 families. And one of their community, Councillor Sam Aziz, of whom we're all very, very proud, who's on the Casey Council, has asked me to mention a few things about the community, particularly given his knowledge of this motion that's been put forward by the member of Hughes. I'd like to say that a number of families, or he would like to say, over the last 10 years have come to Melbourne after fleeing persecution in Egypt. He'd like to say that amongst these families, there are a number of doctors who fled after their businesses were burnt down. And also, since coming to Australia, these doctors passed Australian accreditation, have opened their medical practices. A number of these refugees have also gone into business, opening retail franchises and construction companies. He wanted me to point out, even fleeing the persecution that they'd experienced, that there are so many successful lives that have been led in this community by members of the Coptic community. And we all thank them for the contribution that they make to this country. But we share their grief as what is continuing to occur, their fundamental breach of human rights, their continual persecution. And one thing that staggered me, and particularly when I heard about this unbelievably outrageous suicide attack on the Coptic church which occurred in January 2011, the 22 people that died, the 97 people that were injured, is to remember how I was talking about being able to walk out after sharing a spiritual experience with the community. But for the perpetrators of this evil atrocity, they knew that that would cause the maximum impact to that particular community. A very powerful message, a message of fear, a message of hate, a message of trying to destroy your community, practicing which is its inalienable human right. And that has to be condemned. It cannot be condoned. There have been further atrocities that have been committed. And the great thing about the Coptic community, led by His Grace Bishop Suriel, whom I've met, we've heard the Foreign Minister's met, my colleague Michael Danby has met as well. They communicated Melbourne Ports so powerfully, and others, apologies, is that they communicate this so powerfully. I'm running short of time here, but can I say to you, thank you very much for this. We cannot allow these people to continue to suffer in silence. Their voices must be heard. This persecution must be stopped. You must be allowed to practice your faith without being persecuted, without being killed, without being oppressed.